New director on board, Nathan Lejean. Nathan also runs the photography studio across the way. Young guy, very energetic, part of the Massena Visionaries. Looking forward to some good things out of him. They have, I didn't bring one, they put together a new brochure. It's really geared kind of toward their membership as opposed to Massena in general. They did that at their expense, obviously. But I'm hoping they're gonna help me put together more of a Massena oriented, this kind of the bigger picture of Massena. I got thinking today, you know, we need to put on our brochure. We should mention the driveway. Not a whole lot of driveways left in the world.
No, it's, 360 in the whole country.
Something like that, yeah. Although it's actually in Louisville, we won't talk about that. It's Massena.
Just like Massena, Rock Run Club, Massena Country
That's
Club.
right, yeah. So,
All Louisville.
but anyway, yeah, so they're gonna help me with that and try to get that together. Okay. What else for the chamber? Not much. I don't have much else to report from the supervisor's standpoint. Any councilman reports? All right. We have another public comment session. We will need an executive session. We are discussing a variety of things. One is, primary one is a tax assessment challenge. We're also going to go through the applicants we have for the airport committee. And we are going to talk about a pending contract issue we have with a consultant as well. So, okay. If there's no other business, we'll go to public comment period. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Carol Poley. I have a very strong desire for an airport committee to be formed to improve, expand, and renovate the airport. Some time ago, I asked some people about Ogdensburg. Didn't think it was going to be an issue. Reports now, we've got a couple of senators behind the expansion. Granted, there's no funding yet, but they do have the support of congressmen and some of the Senate members. At this time, I would strongly urge the board to get a committee going. I am very interested in being on that committee. I am very passionate about expanding it. We are at a very critical time in the town of Massena and in the village where a lot of things can come together. We got the GM site that's going to be cleaned up in a couple of years. We've got the Shrine Theater that's moving forward. We have the museum that's moving and expanding. Now is the time for Massena to put all of this together. We can draw on Cornwall. We already have another terminal at the airport. We can bring in another airline that doesn't necessarily compete with Cape Air, but it can offer flights to different points, such as New York City. Addie Russell would be the first one to use that airline if she could get on a plane here and go to New York City. We only need to expand the airport approximately another 1,500 feet. Less work. Where are we going to get the money?
Yep.
Here we go.
First question I got.
I know. Same place everybody else is going to get it. Grant writing. I know that we can use the grant writers that the mayor has got. I know that there's other people that can write grants. We've got grant money to do a lot of some of this already improvements down around the town of Massena. I have a question for each and every member of the board. Where do you see this town and this airport in 5 years? Where do you see it? Are we going to become a summer resort? I certainly hope not. I am very passionate about this, very passionate about the airport.
We lose a
Mr. Gray, you have my resume. You
Yeah.
asked for it, I
Yeah.
submitted it to you.
Yep, and I have it for the board's review. We lose $250,000 a year at the airport right now. We expend more at the airport to a tune of $250,000 a year than we take in.
Mm-hmm.
Another airline will not produce enough revenue to even that out. It's easy to extend the runway, I'd do it tomorrow. However, when we do that, then we have increased costs, we have fire, now we need full-time fire protection there, full-time firemen, anytime there's a plane there. It's easy, we can, like I said, it's very easy to extend the runway. You gotta pay for it, and you gotta maintain it going forward. And where do we find the money to do that when we're already losing $250,000?
So you're telling me that by extending the runway an extra 1,500 feet, we have to have a designated fire department
Yes.
out there at the
Well,
airport?
it's good, no, I shouldn't say that. If we go to a plane bigger than 50 passengers, that's the key. Except, like the runway has nothing to do with it. So
there.
if we're bringing in planes, if we can bring in planes bigger than that, over 50 passengers now, quite honestly. If we do that, we have to have this additional fire presence.
Okay. I have a lot of ideas. There is
I
possibility.
don't doubt that. A lot of
There's a
people have ideas.
possibility of extending and that airport becoming a potential self-sufficient piece of
I'm
property.
anxious to see the plan, because we've been looking for, we've been trying to find that, and I haven't seen it yet.
Well, you put me on that committee and you'll see it.
Okay.
We have in the North Country, a North Country
Is,
Airport Alliance,
No, Ed left.
which takes in Massena, Watertown, Harrietstown, which is Saranac Lake,
Mhm.
the regional airports around us.
in Augsburg.
They have, and Augsburg, they have similar problems. None of them are making money. None of them.
Show me an airport that does.
Well, you just said that you thought,
There's a lot of.
It can, I think it can, given time.
I would
It's gonna
say-
take work.
I would say to you that we also, the supervisor also has Senator Schumer on board with us, looking at the same factors and the same things going on in Augsburg. Our EAS, we are an EAS airport, Essential Air Service. Our airport is an EAS airport, is designed to get people to a hub, to a larger hub,
Mhm.
where they can make their connections. EAS was bid last year.
Yeah, just.
There was one bidder.
Right.
We have marketed Cape Air in Cornwall, in Ottawa, in Montreal, and in the western provinces of Quebec, in western parts of Quebec, Valleyfield, Rivière-Baudet, and so on and so forth. So we are marketing as much as we can.
Who's paying for the marketing?
We are.
Split,
Cape Air.
split between the town and Cape Air,
Cape Air
and the other airport.
and the Airport
And
Alliance.
we did the airport alliance, that's right, so we split it.
Okay.
Well, they
So
were,
it's not like nothing is going on. Let me go back, go back to your question. Where do I see the airport in 5 years? I hope we're still gonna be an EAS airport. I'm not convinced that's gonna be the case. If Congress has talked about redoing EAS now for 10 years, they may finally get around to doing it. If that's the case, I'm very, very concerned that they're not gonna fund 2 airports 35 miles apart. If we don't have EAS funding, there won't be daily service out of here. The only reason Cape Air is here is because of the EAS subsidy. The only way that it's profitable for any airline to fly out of here is with the EAS subsidy. If we have somebody tomorrow to fly to New York City, my bet is the ticket would be $500. And I don't know how many people are gonna pay $500, maybe they will, maybe more than that, I don't know. But I know if we were to fly to Albany without the subsidy, with a plane like Cape Air, it would easily be, I think, $300 or $400 one way. And so I can only imagine New York City would probably be twice that, so probably $600 or $700.
If you can get in.
If you get in, you gotta have a gate, right, you gotta have a gate to land.
You have to have a gate. You have to have a, whether it's New York City or Newark or Albany or Boston, you have to have a gate.
You have to be able to land your plane somewhere.
And has there been any previous studies done on all of this by the, several? Okay, so if, in the event that an airport committee is elected, and I would be on that airport committee, is that research and, would that material be available to me?
It's available, I think, it's public information right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sure,
Okay, so I can request it then?
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, all right.
We have to find it, but it's here, yeah, we have it.
Well, yeah, the reason we're already been looking at this committee is all the things that we've talked about, just talked about. There have been airports that have been successful expanding and bringing in air carriers. But typically, it's happened joint, together. You know, like, you just can't extend your runway and hope that you get an airline coming in later on, and vice versa. No airline's gonna commit unless they can land a plane. So it's a very, very difficult situation to do in a constrained market, if that's what you wanna call it.
Kinda like
You know, and
catch-22.
every study that we have seen, and I've been on the board for a long time, that the BDC has seen studies, we've seen studies, shows how many people. I've seen charts like that I've been on 17 years now. It shows Ottawa, Montreal, all this stuff, all the demand that's possibly there. And we haven't been able to do anything other than EAS. You know, we had
And
the
we're still
ANOVA
at
study,
about-
we had it studied, Potsdam State did a study for us at one time. And we've had other types of recreational studies, like the venue strategies, things that we just have seen. So there's no question that there's opportunities, but very, very difficult to pull off. Very, very difficult to pull off.
If it was easy, it wouldn't be a challenge.
And obviously, it has been, you're right, and it's been a challenge for us. And it's
Okay.
like
My
Joe's saying, it's not like we haven't done anything to try to.
I'm not saying you haven't. My concern is I'm not sure that this is becoming a ghost town. There is approximately over 400 houses on the market for sale right now in the village and in the town.
How many countywide?
I don't have that number yet.
Quite few hundred more, I think.
Okay? So I brought it here for
Yeah,
your
absolutely.
area, okay? That's a lot of homes. That's a lot of homes that, you know, are vacant. Maybe they're not paying their taxes, so there's no income there. Cost the town or the village to maintain them, tear them down, whatever. So that's a cost to, if we can, we're at a point where we can start marketing and meshing everything together to build up Massena and give Massena a rebirth. That's what I'm after,
Yeah, we totally agree.
okay? Then let's do it.
Oh, we're trying. We're trying. Everybody's trying.
Then,
They are.
I'm not saying they're not, okay? I am not saying they're not. But I thought this
I should
committee
say
should have been
they,
formed
we.
last fall,
But-
before Ogdensburg started. I don't
Well,
know.
that may be, but it wasn't.
And
So-
we
so-
stopped Ogdensburg.
Right.
I sent it to you in the email you sent me. I have to worry about how Massena Airport runs, how Massena Airport works financially. Ogdensburg's gonna do what they're gonna do. I can't be worried about what Ogdensburg does, quite honestly.
Right.
Here's the other thing you need to
Well,
understand.
and it's run by the,
OBPA, right, by the
which is
public,
totally different than us.
right, and they have deep pockets, they have a lot more money
So
than
it's
we
run
have.
by the Ogdensburg Bridge and Port Authority, not the city of Ogdensburg. This is a town,
And when they,
so it's a whole separate
and
situation.
the expenses they incur won't go on the taxpayers of the city of Ogdensburg, or the town of Oscoda, or the town of Lisbon. It'll be borne by OBPA, which has all sorts of revenue from the port, and from the bridge that they also operate. With all the marketing we've done, Cape Air is still less than 50% capacity here and Ogdensburg. So and a couple things, Allegiant, I've been told by a couple people is willing to fly out of here too. So the fact that Ogdensburg's doing this big thing with Allegiant, I still waiting to see Allegiant cut the check for $1 million for a new terminal. The airport people we talked to say Allegiant doesn't do that kind of work. Augsburg says they're going to. I wish them luck, I hope that happens. We have a new terminal, we don't need a new terminal, we have better instrumentation they have in Augsburg as well. The other thing is, the senators, I got a call from a senator before the announcement, the senator's office, not from the senator's office. It said, we wanna let you know, we're announcing tomorrow that we're supporting Augsburg's efforts, whatever you do, we'll support those too. So, as Albert said, it's not, odd that they would support their efforts, I think they would also support any efforts we have here. So you shouldn't lose sleep over that either. Sam, you want to add something?
Well, I just want to say, I understand that you're concerned, Carol, with the economy of the area and everything else, and, you know, the reason we're putting this airport committee together, I believe, is to help, you know, forward it and, keep it stable, you know. We need more eyes and ears out there to see what's available for us. I'm new on the board, so I don't know what the, you know, previous reports are or what's out there, but, I mean, it's always good to go forward and look at different avenues. So I understand your concerns with that, and I think it'd be great to have a board that can look out, you know, past where the board's looked and see what's out there.
Ma'am, we're putting the airport committee together because our consulting engineers, Calcarinas and Spina, suggested that we do that. The initiative actually came from them. We are reacting to it. Okay, now Calcarinas and Spina, together with us, have put together a 5-year plan. And that 5-year plan is updated every year. When you ask where we want to be in 5 years, we have a plan where we want to be. Okay, is that all going to come to fruition? I doubt very much that it will. But, you know, the main thrust is to have something on paper and to be active, proactive, rather than reactive. We're not going to react to what's happening in Augsburg. We're reacting to what's going to happen or what can happen here. We'll let Augsburg, and incidentally, the OBPA is a regional agency. We're in that region. That's not just an Augsburg, that's just not just an Augsburg initiative.
Not supposed
That's
to be.
regional.
Not supposed to
So we supposedly can access funds from the OBPA.
Okay. So we could access funds from them to do some of the funding that Mr. Gray says we need money for. Where's some of the money coming from? Right there.
Potentially, yep.
Potentially.
If their board agrees with it. The board that we have no representation on, by the way, although we used to have it. A board that has very little representation beyond the Augsburg area anymore, although it used to be countywide. And so, well, don't get me off on the OBPA. It won't be pretty.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, okay.
All I'm asking is for you guys to take a step back. You probably feel like you've been beating your head against the wall on a lot of this stuff. I understand. I respect that. But there is room for growth, expansion, and possibly even making some money. There's people up here that own that own planes.
Yep. And we hope we're gonna get some of them in our new T hangar that we talked about. which would be nice. We've got a lot of people that are interested, those spaces should be rented out.
How many of those spaces can we rent out?
We can rent all of them.
We can rent them all.
And how many spaces do you have?
We have another 10-bay T hangar now, so
It's
20
full with a
spaces.
waiting
It's
list.
full with a waiting list.
Okay. So basically, there's more room for expansion to build another one?
We just did.
No,
It's in
no,
the,
no, but
Yeah, but but listen to what I'm saying, to build another one.
if there's a need, we can look for funding for that. This one's being built with
New York State.
90% federal money, 5% New York State money, and 5% local money. typically it's, we only do 2.5% on the local level, no, 2.5% on the state level, I guess. 95% from the, it'll be actually be less than that, because we're doing 5 instead of, or we're doing 10. Anyway, whatever.
I think we're doing fine.
It's a lot, primarily federal money being used to build the new T hangar. We have a bigger contribution in this one than local contribution than we did in the other one. So if there's a need, sure, we're gonna look at building a third one. We need to see how quickly we fill the second one before we talk about a third one.
Okay,
And-
thank you for your time.
Sure, thank you.
I really appreciate
Thanks
you
for your
listening.
interest.
I'm not attacking you, I just am very passionate about this because
You got that
there's a
impression?
lot that can, I see dollar signs out there. It's gonna take work, I'm not saying it's not gonna take work. Anything that is worthwhile takes work.
Don't disagree.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in public comment?
Yes, hi, Suzanne Day. Just along the same lines as Carol, she and I feel pretty strongly in favor of pursuing an airport. One of the things I think, if there's ever a time that we should do it, it should be now. Massena has seen better days, and, you know, I thought the Tesla motor idea was great, but to me that seemed kind of like, you know, a lot of hype, and I think this is something that we should try. You know, I think the difference, you're talking about the different airports that are in the area that maybe in the same at the same category of, you know, small flights from there. We have something they don't have. We have Canada in our backyard. We have Montreal, Ottawa. And these people would love to drive down here just like they drive down to TJ Maxx and hop on a flight and be in Manhattan for the weekend and fly back. And maybe in a few years there might be a Hampton Inn here, or, you know, Panera Grill or something. I mean, our town is getting worse, and, you know, it's there's not much life to it left. And the rivers are pretty, but we need more than that. And I think, you know, I know there's a lot of expense. At some point, I think we should try to take a risk to think outside the box. I spoke to people on the reservation today, and they are interested in being involved, and they would have liked to come to the meeting tonight. I talked to the Tarbell Management Group, but they're unable to, but they would like to know in the future, if we ever have, you know, another, this is on the agenda or topic of interest, they want to come by and they're very interested. And I think that the airport is not just a Massena thing. You talk about the area, why we could get some Brazier people down here, Franklin County, Malone. And the other thing I thought about Cape Air, it's great, you know, we fly it to Boston and stuff, but as far as attracting Canadians, I don't think someone's going to come from Montreal to fly to Albany. I just don't see that as a destination. And it would be easier for them to get in their car and drive to Boston the 5 hours than to drive to Massena to take a flight to Albany and to Boston. So I think, you know, there's other things we can do. I wrote, some of you know, I wrote a letter to Allegiant last year, and they said, you know, they were interested, you know, we're going to be in your area, you know, we haven't ruled anything out. But I think we need to pursue these things. Sometime in the future, all of us will want to sell our houses. Sometime, you never know when. And we would hope there would be a market there to have people buy our houses, and, you know, and I don't think the way things are going now that there's any future. And, you know, I think this is one thing, it's kind of an easier than attracting a new General Motors. That model is gone. But, I mean, if it can work in Ogdensburg, it can work in Plattsburgh. And Plattsburgh is the model town. What's wrong with us? We're 5 miles from the border, and I'm willing to work with Carol on this and, you know, get some other interested people. And plus, I think the committee should not just be people from Massena. I would get people from Cornwall and
We've got people from several other towns as far
Okay.
away as Canton have asked for membership.
oh, that's good, yeah, the universities and all that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know what I thought. But I'm very willing to help, and we think outside the box. Maybe we can do something for our place here.
I appreciate that.
Dr. Day, thank you for your comments. Just one thing.
Sure.
The supervisor and I did go out to the reservation. Our idea was to possibly partner with the casino in bringing high rollers
That'd be
into
great.
the casino. But they didn't seem to,
Yeah.
and possibly, they would be interested in helping us extend the runway. But there wasn't much interest at that time. Now, maybe things have changed.
Yeah.
But, you know, the Tarbell Management Group has known for years that we've had an airport, and one of the terminals on the airport grounds is a businessman built. He had the terminal built next to, or hangar built next to the terminal.
Oh,
Okay, that's his. So we have made overtures to Aquasasa,
yeah, well, that's good.
several.
That's good, it's always nice to work together.
And I think we need to continue that. There's a new economic development person out there, Chris Thompson is his name.
Yes.
Yeah, Chris Thompson.
Mhm.
And when I second guessed as soon as I said it, energetic guy, we're certainly trying to talk to him as much as we can. He's been at a few meetings here in town. He knows that our door is open and if we want to talk. There are a couple initiatives that I've been looking at that I hope to be able to take to the tribal council at some point and say, hey, I'd like you to come in and support this. Not financially, just support it. We need to do some more work on those before we're ready to talk about them with them or publicly at this point. So, anyway, as Al said, we appreciate your comments, and we are looking. I think there's an impression that we meet once a month for a couple hours and then we don't do anything in between the meetings, and it's simply not the case. So, I can give you a laundry list, but I'm not gonna waste my time and yours doing that.
We know that, you have a lot of things on your agenda.
It's been busy.
Yeah.
One of the new councilmen, I'm not gonna say which one, said to me a couple of months ago, is it always this busy? And I said, well, no, not since I've been here, it hasn't always been this busy, but lately it's been pretty hectic, the last year or so, pretty hectic. Okay, anything else? All right, I'd like a motion to go to executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second, discussion, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, session, motion carries. Thank you, folks. I don't expect any action after Bob, if there is, I'll let you know. I don't expect any action afterward, if there is, I'll let you know. I think
never
you
leave
will.
the office anymore.
Got a cot set up for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got
Caught in a
another-
cat, right?
Have you got another reporter yet, Bob?